What's up YouTube? Clean Cuts the One back with another video, and this one's going to be a complete transformation. He wanted an undercut skin fade on the bottom and just enough left on the top to pull back. You're going to see when it got into the shear work, I had a couple issues, but we got it all worked out. Let me know what you think. Check it out. Alright y'all, this is my man Jack. He's a local worship leader here in East Tennessee. He's all over the place. Met him through some really cool circumstances, but as you can see, this dude needs a transformation. He's been going with the long hair worship leader look. I'm just kidding, I don't know if that's a thing or not, but we're going to give him a fade on the sides. He said I want just enough hair left on top so I can pull it back into a ponytail. So we're going to try to give him a nice fade on the undercut, leave the ponytail deal, and that's what he's going to get. So you can see I'm using my rat tail comb as well as my pick on his wet hair to try to make sure that I get that line straight. And these kind of haircuts, man, if you've ever seen those haircuts that like have the top line all zigged and zagged and stuff, man, it ruins the haircut for the barber in the future, whether it's me or anybody else he goes to. If this line isn't straight, these fades in the future are going to be hard. And you can check out my taper tutorial for an example of what it's like when that top gets zigzagged. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to clipper over comb everything. I'm trying to get rid of this bulk, and I'm trying to create a canvas. Like I need a workable canvas. So I'm going to spend my time right now just clearing the stuff off. I know he's going to be about a 1.5 at the top of his fade, and so I'm just going to get rid of everything, and then I'm going to clear it off with the clippers, but we got to get somewhere to start off with. So that's what I'm doing now. Jack told me that, this was actually a spiritual experience for him. Like this is a difficult thing, man. A lot of times we attach a lot of our identity to how we look to other people. We can say that we don't, but the truth is, man, that a lot of us really care about how we look, and a lot of us on the inside, we feel on the inside based on how we look on the outside. And that's why I showed my eyes a minute earlier, because we were kind of just sharing on a deep level about identity and who we are, and what it means to be who we were created to be. And so anyways, moving on, you can see I tapped in the line for symmetry. I started on the left and then the right, and now I've got my skeleton FX, and I'm just balding him out, trying to get a really clean line. And I didn't actually get this on video because I wasn't recording at the time, but I recently shaved my entire face off, all the way down to skin. And I gotta admit, I really, it was difficult. It was difficult to, first of all, I didn't like how I looked, and to have to realize that a lot of how you feel about yourself is based on how you look. That was kind of a big deal to me, but glad to have my beard back. So you can see that we took the shaver and we cleaned him up on the bottom really nice, because we don't want to have any of those that stubble at the bottom of his haircut. And so now I've got my gamma ergos, and I'm doing the no guard open, putting in that first guideline. I work on the left, then I work on the right, and then I bring it around in the back, and that helps me with the symmetry. Now I'm just coming through with the closed, middle, open technique. I'll take out the skin part of that line with the clippers on closed, then I'll pop them open one click, I'll go up another level, I'll pop them open another click, I'll go up another level, until that line is blended out and I like the way that it looks. And I'm going to say from skin all the way to the half guard is probably for me the most frustrating and also the most important line in any fade that I do. I really want that skin to half to really be detailed. I want it to look good, because that really has been making my fades look the nicest as of recently. And I know I told you guys that I've been getting a whole bunch of new clippers and a whole bunch of new stuff, and it's really helped my fades out and my haircuts a lot. A lot of it's due to the tools. It's really difficult to do a good job if you don't have the right tools for the job, but also just kind of getting the right tools and coupling that with the willingness to take your time to make sure that it's done right really makes for a great haircut that your client's always satisfied. And keep in mind when you're watching these tutorials, these haircuts that I perform, these haircuts that you perform, are not about what other barbers think about your haircut. You are a barber probably first because you love it, because you're passionate about it, or you wouldn't be watching barber videos when you don't have to be watching barber stuff. But there is a part of this that our income is dependent on it. Our families depend on us to be able to make the money, right? And so this is about keeping our clients happy, okay? This isn't about impressing other barbers, which allows me to post my haircuts, which are not anywhere close to some of the haircuts that are out there, and still be able to add value to the industry. So what I just now did was I went around with a 1 open and created a guideline. That was a 1 closed. And now I have the silver Gamma Guard. And I think I just went to the Gamma Guard because I wanted you guys to see how they work, because I shouldn't be using the Gamma Guards with the Gamma Clippers, so I'm trying to give them a shot here. So I've got the 1 guard on, I'm going all the way around, just creating another guideline, and I know you can see that little line. And then after I get this guideline set, I'm going to go in with my half guard, and I'm going to go with the same plan as before: closed, middle, open. As you can see, I go side, side, bring it around in the back. Those are some of my keys to symmetry. Those are some of my keys to getting a good blend on the fade. That's what works for me. So I put the 1 guard in, I went with the half guard, closed, middle, open, and now I have the 1.5 guard going all the way up to that line that I put in. And this is why it was important to make sure that that part was straight. If that part wasn't straight, I would really be struggling with where to stop fading at. I put my guideline in up at the top, but I'm going to detail with the 1, and I'm not going through my system because I actually want to leave it a little bit heavier on top, so when he's got it pulled back you can actually see the fade. So right now I've got my 1 open, I'm going up as high as I can, but then I'm kind of going to freestyle detail that line on the bottom. So I'm satisfied with the fade, going straight to the beard. He said he wanted his beard to look like mine, so can't really make it look like mine because he doesn't have the same density that I have, but I kind of understand what he's saying, and so that's why I picked up my 2 guard and I'm going with the grain. A lot of times when you go with the grain, this can be on any kind of coarse hair texture, a curly hair texture, or a beard that's not dense. Start going with the grain because that will allow for more coverage. As you can see, I switched back to my babyless 1.5 guard because those long guards sometimes are difficult to get up under the neck. You can sit there and you poke your arm. So I brought him all the way down to a 1.5 with the grain on his face, and I went to my JRLs because they are really good at fading out this skin line on beards. And so you can see I go closed, middle, open, and then I go to my half guard. And what I'm doing is I'm really just kind of freestyling his the fade on the side of his beard intuitively. And I want to encourage you, new barber. This will come with repetition. There are some things that you do not get access to absent the experience, failure, and repetition. So just keep doing what you're doing. Keep experimenting with your tools. Keep going through the systems until you learn what they do, and then you will find what works best for you, and before you know it, you will have a system that works and you will be fading intuitively. You'll be working the lever in no time. You'll be doing things that you're seeing your favorite YouTube barbers do. And once again, the main thing is that your clients are the ones that are satisfied with what's going on. So that's what's going to come for you. That's what you've got to look forward to. So now I'm just lining him up on the bottom of his beard, standard issue, starting in the middle, creating that first line on the bottom, and then I'm actually going to contour his beard. I'm kind of shaping it. If you've ever seen an Undercut video, he's the one that taught us how to contour the beards like this, and so I'm going to contour his beard by getting rid of any hair that disrupts the silhouette. And once I've got the contour of his beard correct, I'm going to go back in again and I'm going to hit the line under his beard. Just keep tapping. A lot of times under the neck, you gotta go left, you gotta go right, you gotta go up, you gotta go down, and you gotta do whatever it takes to get rid of those hairs. Sometimes those hairs under the neck, it's crazy how many different directions they can go, and what all you have to do to compensate for the issue. So now I'm just tapping the side of his neck, just cleaning off the hairs that are distracting or disrupting from the silhouette, because beards, everything is about the silhouette. You want all the curvatures, you want everything to be good, you want it to be structured, you want the straight parts to be straight, you want the rounded parts to be rounded, and it's up to you. This is where creative freedom comes into play as a barber. The this is where the artistic perspective comes in, and you can kind of do whatever you want to do as long as the client's happy. I don't know how much I've got to express. Stop trying to impress other barbers. Here's a mustache major key. Shout out to Alex Wade for teaching me how to do this. You bring the comb under the beard and then tilt it. And what this allows you to do is keep the straight line across the lip, but also maintain the fullness and the free flow on the lip. So his beard looks super full, straight line across the lip, and then I'll just freestyle those wild hairs that would try to get in the way of his silhouette looking like a nice polished beard. Don't forget to take the shaver under your client's neck. Keep everything nice and clean. Keep them happy. Keep them satisfied. So now I got the Gimmick Evos just pushing down on that beard line just a little bit. I do most of my detail work with the razor, so I'm mostly just cleaning off his cheek with the trimmers. I see a lot of guys that get really crispy lines with their trimmers only, and I find that my trimmer is it prepares the template, it prepares the palette, it prepares the dang, here I go forgetting words again. It prepares the canvas. It prepares the canvas to be detailed with the razor. So you can see when the razor comes in, this is where lines start to get sharp. And this has always been the way that it's worked for me. A lot of times it depends on the skin. You can see I'm pulling the skin. It depends on the client's hair texture. It depends on how oily or how dry their skin is. I don't normally use shave gel unless I can tell the client's skin is super irritable, or they're very sensitive, or they've got some super thick hairs that my razor, it pulls the skin or causes them discomfort. Again, keeping it about service. Service equals more money. Better haircuts equals more money. Again, my focus is service oriented. So I want to make sure that my client's comfortable through everything, which is why I always trim the beards on the headrest. It helps me give shape. It helps me give contour. And my clients get to really experience the lounge part of Clean Cut Grooming Lounge. Alright, so we got the fade, we got the beard, now we're going to pull the hair down. Now remember, he said he wanted just enough left so he could pull it back. Here's where I gotta admit I messed up, guys. I thought it was just going to be like a comb back. And so with that first cut, I'm so thankful that when I made this first cut that I left the front long enough to be pulled all the way back. Because realistically, there's not any reason except for God saved me on this, because I left him enough hair in the front so that it would fit back in the ponytail, but to be honest with you, I completely forgot that's what I was doing. And so and I know you can't see, this is my first time doing such a long shear cut on the camera, but I lifted his hair up and I graduated it long in the front to short back, and so I put my initial guideline right down the middle of his head, and I went and did the same thing on the left and the right. I followed the guideline. The part where I messed up and the mistake that I made is I cut his hair so short in the back that yes, it still went into the ponytail, but if I'm honest with myself, I would have left it longer. I did not mean to leave it that short in the back. I wanted to leave him just a little bit more hang time. Once again, we're back to client service. He was happy, he was satisfied, he loved it. When he looked at it, he said something to the effect of, "This is exactly what I wanted," and that's all that matters. He paid, I believe he left me a $12 tip on this haircut, and that's, we don't cut hair for tips. If you're a barber out there and you get upset when you don't get a tip, you need to be charging what you need for your services. The tip needs to be extra, because if you start acting salty to clients that don't tip, then that's just going to keep you miserable, because all clients, they're not going to tip, and they're not obligated to tip, and if they don't want to tip, they shouldn't have to. So you need to charge how much money you need to charge to get what you need. And so anyways, long in the front, short in the back, cut everything down, pulled it into the ponytail for him, and that's exactly what he asked for, guys. You're looking at a near complete transformation. He definitely does not even resemble the guy that he was when he came in. And Jack, man, I really enjoyed the conversation with you, bro. When we started talking about what it means to be who you were created to be, no matter what you look like, no matter what people say about you, man, that really did brought me to tears. And that's why I showed people, you know, my eyes in the moment, because, dude, this haircutting thing is a spiritual thing for me. It's a big deal, and I experienced a lot of joy with you, bro. I really appreciate you coming in and allowing me to perform this service, and thank you for the grace with regards to the mistake, and man, I just really had a good time doing this. So here's the finished look. It's the undercut. Man, he said he could feel the wind on his head after that, and you know he could. Yeah, man. He loved it. Look at this, man. From shaggy to swaggy. No, I'm just kidding. It's not swaggy, but he's a good dude, man. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please, please, please let me know what you think in the comments. All right, y'all, that was the transformation. You see that you can make little mistakes and everything still be okay as long as your client is satisfied. Listen, if you enjoyed this, go ahead and drop me a comment. Hit that thumbs up for me. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I got a ton more videos ready to go. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. Until next time, peace.